What's up, guys, and welcome to this edition of The Sharp Reality. I'm your man, Donovan Sharp. Follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. Visit my website, thesharpreality.com, to listen to all episodes of TSR, which are also available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Go to the Contact tab if you have questions, comments, hate mail, show ideas, or personal stories you'd like to share. And if you want to support the show, bookmark the Amazon link in the sidebar of my homepage and do all your Amazon shopping through that link, and you'll help keep us on the air at zero cost to you. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, where I will be joined by Illimitable Man, and we will be discussing testosterone replacement therapy for men. I get a lot of emails and comments requesting that I do a show regarding TRT. And so because the demand has just sort of become too great to ignore, I've gotten too many emails not to do this episode. And I am really knows his shit regarding testosterone replacement therapy. So make sure you listen to that episode, because it'll be informative and educational and will greatly benefit you as a man in just about every area you can think of. Today's episode, I'm going to give minorities 5 tips on how to date, fuck, and run game on white girls. People on and off the internet assume that because I don't game or date black women anymore, that I must only approach white girls. Now, obviously, I couldn't care less about who people think I'm dating or running game on. But I've had success with white girls for quite a while. And listen, all kinds of white girls. I mean, cougars, I've fucked mud sharks, college chicks, everything in between. I've fucked all kinds of white girls. But my ability to fuck or run successful game on these chicks was anything but just dumb luck or good fortune. As a black man, you don't just fall ass backwards into a white girl's panties just for existing. You have to have serious game. And you can bet your ass, guys, that learning to game them as a man of a different race didn't happen overnight. I had to recognize the necessary changes in my game and really work at it to become successful with them. As soon as I sort of became cognizant of the racial components of game and sort of tweaked my approach accordingly, my conquests or, my dealings with white girls improved considerably. So here are 5 things that minorities can do or that minorities can adjust to sort of improve their odds with white girls. Number 1, don't be a stereotype. A guy I worked with years ago came to the States from India in his early 20s. Now, he was a decent-looking dude. He was a cool guy, and he had ditched his office job to become a charter pilot. So this guy was living the dream, and one would think that he'd be swimming in women, or swimming in white girls, but because he looks, acts, and talks like the stereotypical Indian, he repels these women, like big time, almost like a citronella candle repels mosquitoes. And the stereotypes I'm talking about, think Big Bang Theory. I think his name is Raj Kuthrapali or something like that. He is the token stereotypical caricature of a man from India. Now, we all have personality traits that have been infused in us through our experiences, our upbringing, and environment. Sometimes they work for us, other times they work against us. Within the context of gaming white girls, it is paramount not to be the stereotypical version of your given race. You got to stand out from the crowd to get noticed by women. Now, the exception, of course, is black men and probably a few Hispanic nationalities. A while back, I talked about the so-called assumed alpha advantage that men seem to have when gaming any race of female in an article that I penned on Returning Kings a while back. Now, while most white men in the Anglo world sort of have to prove their sexual fitness to women, at least on the alpha fuck side of hypergamy, there's almost an unspoken sentiment that black men who are at or near the extreme poles of financial hierarchy, which is wealthy or poor, are natural alphas, okay? We can assume that any way we want. The truth is no one really knows for sure. But the fact of the matter is that black men are portrayed by the media as natural static alphas, and for better or worse, this places black men higher on the SMV totem pole than really any other color man in the West. When it comes down to it, a woman will fuck who she perceives to be as an alpha regardless of how quote-unquote hood he is. No, this doesn't mean ditch your culture, become another person, or try to lose your foreign accent just to get with white chicks. But we all know that, quote, being ourselves, that's not going to cut it when running games on females of any race. You've got to connect with her while maintaining your uniqueness. Now, this might sound difficult, but it's actually quite easy and doesn't really require much practice, which leads me to number 2, which is to accentuate your shit white people-like tendencies. If you reside anywhere for an extended period of time, it's inevitable that you're going to be influenced by your surroundings and eventually take a liking to many of the cultural norms around you. Using your affinities for certain aspects of Western culture will help you to find common ground with white American women. In other words, embracing a few of your shit white people-like habits rather than tamping them down works in your favor when gaming white girls. Again, this doesn't mean you have to start drinking Starbucks or following the Kardashians just to have something to talk to white girls about. But showing her that you can connect with her on some level will increase her comfort level with you and make her more receptive to your game and escalation. I'll give you a personal example. Like when girls see my bike rack on my Jeep Wrangler, it sort of gives them a quick glimpse of the all-American guy that they drool all over in rom-coms, romantic comedies. Now, of course, my skin tone and my tattoos takes me out of the running for husband material, thankfully. But the fact that they see that I'm not completely clueless about their world, it works to my advantage. If you like drinking wine, take her to a wine tasting event. If you dig classic rock and roll, throw on some Boston while you're in the car with her. The bottom line here, guys, is not to be ashamed to admit or show that you like a few SWPL-endorsed indulgences for fear that you might betray your culture or come off as some sort of sellout. Staying true to yourself doesn't mean rejecting things that you genuinely enjoy to keep up appearances. So embrace your shit white people like side a little more, and trust me, you're going to see your interactions with white chicks escalate from casual conversations to planned meetups at some point. Number 3, you got to make white friends, okay? Social proof, guys, is one of the most powerful parts of a man's overall game. If a woman sees a man has a lot of friends, acquaintances, connections, as well as the approval of good-looking females, she's going to be more attracted to him because he is socially approved. However, if a white girl you're interested in sees that you only have black friends or Hispanic friends or only Asian friends, not only will she be in a perpetual state of apprehension in terms of comfort, which of course hinders attraction, she'll start to wonder subconsciously what's wrong with you, if not really what's wrong with you, but she'll start to sort of question her attraction if people of her own race aren't signing off on you socially. Now, of course, there's nothing, quote, wrong with you if you don't have, this sort of rainbow coalition of friends. But it's important, once again, to remember that women have to be comfortable with you in order to be relaxed around you. If they're not relaxed, you're not getting laid, guys, and that's all there is to it. Making friends with white guys, and it really helps if they're like-minded, like red pill awareness, which is much easier said than done, that will most certainly boost your social value as well as give you access to more white chicks as a natural consequence. Number 4, avoid giving off beta vibes. Lower value Caucasian women, they know their options are limited with regards to high value white males. And to compensate, some latch onto lower value white men, or in some date outside their race to sort of expand their prospects. Well, that's great for men of color, right? Wrong. If you are a man with red pill knowledge who stays in great shape, you're in the black financially, you're going to have a more expensive taste in women, namely women who are fit and beautiful. And as we all know in the manosphere, the quickest way to making low quality females such as fatties, single moms, parachute seeking post-wall sluts, your main source of poon, that's the quickest way to attract those women is to give off provider vibes. Okay. Banging the desperate white females that I just mentioned above on the regular, that's easy, okay? But as a man in demand, you're looking to dine on steak and lobster, not hot dogs and tater tots. Giving high-value white women, or really any woman for that matter, the impression that you take care of them or wife them up will do two things. Number one, it'll make the good-looking ones put you on the back burner until she's done riding the carousel because she thinks you'll rescue her from her bad decisions when she hits the wall. And number two, it will draw the low-value females to you at an alarming rate, which of course is a lose-lose situation. The key here, guys, is to refrain from talking about the money you make, the stability of your job. Presenting yourself as a beta bucks option as opposed to an alpha fuck, that's not going to lead to success with white girls. Sure, this is standard game, but good-looking white females, let's be honest here, they have the most suitors of any other race of female, especially here in the Western Hemisphere. They have the ultimate abundance mentality. So if she catches so much as even a trace amount of Captain Save-A-Ho tendencies, you'll be put into the backup plan category along with the other half dozen dudes she's got there already. Number 5. Get in shape, make money, and get status. Now, of course, I know, tell you something you don't already know, right? Well, maybe. But as far as the sexual market goes, guys, men of color, we are at a disadvantage because of our skin tone, and this applies to both sides of the female imperative. Now, we can sit here and deny all we want to and take the social justice warriors route and proclaim that women should be aroused by my good heart and my great personality. But we know that outward appearance matters to women almost as much as it matters to men. Unless your body fat is below 5%, and your net worth is at least 7 figures, and a celebrity, okay? And you're a celebrity. You have some sort of social status. Now, those are extreme examples, and few men in the world embody all three of these simultaneously, but you get the picture. So if you're a minority, you need to understand that you're going to have to increase your sexual market value in the areas you control over. All things being equal, white women prefer white men. So the solution is to tip the most important traits that attract them to you in your favor. This means you've got to be in better shape, you have to have more social currency, and you have to be better off financially than the average white guy in order to elevate your status with white girls. So listen, it's basic. Hit the gym, stop spending money on useless crap, save your money, and start making friends with movers and shakers. In the end, guys, this isn't about developing relationships or cultivating long-term companionship or finding a wife. This is about increasing your chances at dating and fucking white girls and nothing more. Now, if one of your trysts with white girls turns into something more, cool. Adjust your game accordingly and let the good times roll. But it's important to remember that because of the overabundance of options white girls that they have, combined with their lack of impulse control, which of course is fortified by this YOLO lifestyle that's crammed down their throats all around them, white chicks are at or near the top of the notch count tally. It goes without saying that this makes them some of the worst significant others out there, so beware. You may want to fuck white girls and you may want to fuck hot white girls, but understand that good-looking white girls have fucked a lot of dudes, so you need to keep them at arm's length. That does it for this episode of The Sharp Reality. Remember to bookmark that Amazon link on the sidebar of my homepage, thesharpreality.com. Hit me on Twitter anytime at Donovan_Sharp and drop me a line anytime in the contact tab of my website. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.